Hi, my name is Kate, and for today's project, I'll be exploring the hippocampus and specifically in taxi drivers. And the hippocampus is a part of our brain that is responsible for memory and navigation. Alrighty, let's dive into it. So, the hippocampus in navigation. The hippocampus is a small but powerful part of the brain that plays a central role in forming memories and navigating space. When we explore new places, memorize routes, or mentally plan a path, we're engaging in this part of our brain. Studies have shown that the more we use it for navigation, the more we can adapt, literally changing our brain structure. And then that's a perfect example of neuroplasticity and how our brain rewires itself based on what we do and how we experience it. Alrighty, what is the hippocampus? So the hippocampus is located deep inside the temporal lobe and is shaped like a seahorse. It helps form long-term memories and allows us to navigate through our everyday lives. It's also part of the limbic system, which involves emotions and learning. And without it, we wouldn't be able to remember where we've gone or where we were even going. It's basically like our brain's internal GPS. Alrighty, neuroplasticity in the brain. So, neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to adapt and reorganize itself. It's specifically active in the hippocampus. When we challenge ourselves to learn new environments or new routes, the hippocampus creates stronger neural pathways. Over time, this can lead to physical changes in our brain structure. On the flip side, when these areas go unused, it's like relying too heavily on GPS and they can start to weaken. So the exciting part about neuroplasticity is that it happens all across our lifespan. So that means we can be improving our brain just by using it every single day. Alrighty, this is a really great study that I found incredibly interesting. It's about the London taxi drivers. Alrighty. So to get a taxi driver license in London, they have to memorize thousands of streets and landmarks. This process is called the knowledge. When scientists scanned their brain, they found that the back of the part of the hippocampus was physically larger than the people who didn't drive taxis. The more years someone had been driving in a taxi, the more developed that area was. This was strong evidence that long term real world experience can reshape that part of the brain. And then you can see how many streets in that map right there are in London. It's pretty crazy. Just a pretty good visual I found. Alrighty, beyond London. So it's not just taxi drivers with are the only ones with the impressive navigations in their brains. Studies have found that pilots, hikers, gamers, and even delivery drivers show changes in their hippocampus too. The key is how active their navigation is. For example, someone who plans routes in their head using their hippocampus more than someone who follows the GPS, then the more we engage in this space and direction mentally, the more we are able to strengthen our part of the brain, which really benefits us long term, which I'll dive more into at the end. Alrighty, the hippocampus in everyday people. Most of us don't think about it, but we're using the hippocampus all the time. Think about remembering where we parked our car, remembering trying to navigate through a new building that we've never been to, or even knowing where the cereal was in our kitchen. All of this involves spatial memory. Over the times, these experiences build up and train your brain to be better at this navigation. Even simple things like walking to a different class or exploring a new part of town can help keep the hippocampus strong. Alrighty, the idea of cognitive maps goes back to research in the 1940s when scientists noticed that rats could find new paths and mazes, implying that they were building mental layouts of their surroundings. Humans do the same thing. We create mental maps to plan our routes, remember where we've been, or even remember future places that we want to go to. These maps aren't just for navigation, they're for helping us decision make and play with our imagination too, as well. The hippocampus plays a major role in building and using these maps daily to help keep that part of the brain pretty strong. Alrighty, why it matters. So, understanding the hippocampus works is more than just science. It affects education, public health, and aging. For example, spatial disorientation is often one of the first signs of Alzheimer's, but research shows that we can help preserve our brain function by staying mentally and physically active. Schools and cities can also support memory by learning to easy to navigate. Even like practicing like the mindfulness and regular movements protect the hippocampus. Alrighty, why I am interested. So, as personally, I'm going into personal injury law. So, this topic really stood out to me. In many cases, people's memory of what happened, specifically on like what happened in that type of moment, are central to their case. Understanding how memory works, especially when it comes to space and direction, can help me evaluate how reliable someone's memory really is. It also helps me explain why someone might forget a detail, not because they're lying, but because of how the brain actually stores and recalls these memories. And then why others should care. I think everyone should care about this topic is because our brains are constantly changing. If we challenge it, it grows. If we don't, it can weaken. Simple things like exploring a new place without a GPS or even just doing those little things that really challenge our brain can really benefit us long term. Um yeah, but it's pretty like personally, it's pretty empowering to know that we're not stuck in one version of our brains, that we have some sort of control and that we can help make these everyday choices that keep our brain pretty sharp. And then, alrighty, that's the end of my presentation. These are all my references. I hope you enjoyed this pretty interesting topic like I did. Have a great day, guys.